and today we're gonna try creating water physics in Blender. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get started. Okay, so now I'm inside the Blender default scene. So to add some water effects and water physics in Blender, the first thing we need is water, right? So how are you gonna do that? Well, we can start by trying to create a water base where the water is gonna be, and try adding a modifier to it. Add a physics modifier to it. So I'm going to the modifiers tab, go to add modifier physics and search for something ocean. Whoa, okay. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. So it converted this plane into a water like terrain. Looks nice, right? So we are done with creating the water shape. What about animating it? Well, that's easy. All we have to do is under the modifiers tab, go to time, put hashtag frame slash 24 or 25, and if you play the animation, it'll move according to how water moves, which looks amazing, right? So you can, if you want, you can add your water shading. Let's do that. You can go to shading, add some water to it. Wa- Yeah, you can go to new materials and I'll create a sort of light. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the metallicity a little bit high. Yep. And reduce the roughness a little bit. Yeah, it has that water look. Yep, that looks pretty nice. Okay, so now that we're done with the water, which looks like this, okay, this looks good, but we want to prove it that it can actually work. We need water physics. So let's try creating some ripples when a mesh comes near the or touches the water. So to do that, I'm gonna go to add mesh and I'll select UV sphere. So I'll put this on the top. Okay, looks nice. So I'm going to play this animation. I'll try moving it. No ripples. This plane isn't doing anything. Why? What's wrong? Well, the problem is the plane, the water isn't aware that there's a sphere right there. So we need to tell that, okay, something is going to be adding some water ripples, so you should be ready to do that and react to it. So in order for this plane to recognize that this is there and understand that there's an object right here going to touch it, we can go to this and go to add modifier and add dynamic paint. So if you scroll down, you'll see dynamic paint here. So to actually go inside the settings of this, you have to go to the physics properties. So what this dynamic paint is, imagine you had a canvas, okay? And you took a paintbrush and you paint on it. You'll obviously see paint, right? So what if I say we could paint in Blender? Imagine if this water is a canvas and this sphere is a brush. So when we wanted to paint on the canvas, what should the result should be not colors but ripples. So it'll feel as if the sphere is painting on the canvas, creating ripples everywhere it goes, which is a nice theory, right? So I'll go to plane since I add a dynamic paint. We want this plane to be the canvas, so set the type to canvas, which is by default, and click on add canvas. Okay, now this is an important step. After that, you need to go under surface and go to under surface type and click on waves because we want that effect of waves to come, right? Okay, and for the sphere, nothing much is right here, right? So what should we do to this? Well, click on dynamic paint again and instead of canvas, go to brush and click on add brush. And I think we're done. Let's play it. So if I move this to the Z, ah, whoa, can you see the water? reacting to it by creating ripples. And make sure that the animation is playing while you're moving the sphere. So if I move the sphere here, you're gonna see that it creates a small animation. It's reacting. See, the plane is starting to react. So what if I try increasing this in size? Oh, okay, now that looks very, very nice. Every single time it reacts to this thing. See how the water is reacting around the sphere. It's aware that there's an object next to it, and the object is uh, is trying to interact with the water. To see that physics looks so cool. Yeah. So I think we're done with today's video. I hope you enjoyed it because this was really interesting and looks very cool. So this is just a starting. You can do so much. I'll see you in the next session. Bye.